A chilling investigation into digital evidence and allegations of child exploitation unfolds.
Local investigative offices wouldn't have. And so to show that there was cooperation, to show that there was a strong chain of custody in terms of really looking into what pieces of evidence were developed and then kind of cross-referencing them and testing them at the next level of investigation, I do think that that is a strength in the prosecution. Of course, there will always be
you can tell when somebody puts weight on like that they had to stop using their DRUG, and it tends to happen because of the food in jail as well. All right, what's up? I wish I knew how to say Pagliarini family. Shout out to you, Kristen. How you doing? All right, let's keep going. If you guys have questions, just put QQQ or J, and I'll try to answer them if I can.
Claim of, or could there always could be a claim of bias from the defense to say that, you know, all of the law enforcement agencies were geared toward coming up with the same answer, but that would be something that would have to be surmounted with the testimony from the different representatives.
I hate to ask this, but how common are cases where
Thank you, Lisa,
parents or close family members are accused of trafficking or attempting to traffic their own children or family members? And I also have to imagine if that presents a unique challenge to prosecutors for a jury to accept this. I mean,
this is going to be, I mean, I wonder how it's going to go down when you get into court and you see this awful potato 2.0 sitting in there and you start hearing the evidence and seeing those text messages, which, by the way, I'd like to get a hold of the court documents for this case. All right, so if anybody knows about this case, or we'll look into it as well, I'd love to see more of what the messages are, what she's been up to on social media, all of that. All right, I got it right the second time. Yay, Pagliarini family, Pagliarini. All right, shout out to the Pagliarini family. Yeah, there's a possibility, Lady for Justice, if Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is alive, it's because he was trafficked, because people don't kidnap children to feed them and house them and give them video games. They do it for nefarious reasons, like here.
Talk about the digital evidence and whether the strength of that evidence, but is it a challenge to kind of present a case like this? Is it hard for a jury to accept this? Or again, maybe they'll accept it. The only thing that makes rational sense is their account must have been hacked. Because why?
This is the entire episode, Kristen. I came on here for the first 30 minutes and I showed all the documentation from the from all of the ads, from all the articles that say she was trafficking the 7-month-old. They only talked about the next one after that. Court documents show she was booked into custody on July 8th and charged with sex trafficking of a 7-month-old child. So I think you might have came in a little late. All right. And this is not over. We're still going.
How on earth could a parent actually do something like this? But I'm curious, in your practice, your experience, are these common?
Well, they're certainly not as common, unfortunately, as some other forms of child abuse cases that we've seen and that you and I have talked about at length. Have I seen instances of trafficking of children by their own parents or by their guardians? Unfortunately, yes, it does happen. But remember, this is something that we talk about pretty frequently, that when there are crimes perpetrated against vulnerable populations, like children or like anyone, frankly, at the margins of society, they are what perpetrators consider to be, quote unquote, perfect victims, because they are kept out of the limelight. And these are crimes that are committed.
Yeah, think about her getting caught with that, but what did she do before that? And what did she do to other children to get money like that, right? She had 7 children, a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old is what they included in this case. Originally, they only talked about the 7-month-old, so I don't know if she's being charged for the 2-year-old as well. And thank you, Pagliarini family, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Vanessa, shout out to you. Good to see you. All right. Let's keep going.
In the privacy of one's own home, under cover of night, where there aren't witnesses and there aren't independent and objective people who will come forward and report it. So these things happen because no one is looking out for the marginalized and more vulnerable members of our community.
All right, I want to walk through how investigators.
Okay, there it is, guys. If you
disturbing case,
listen,
exploitation.
So if you missed the first half, here you go. Buckle up. We're going to finish this together. We're going to have a discussion. Here is how the evidence came out. So if you guys, for you dumb criminals that don't realize it, just because Snapchat deletes the pictures or it goes away, they can still be recovered. All right. So listen up, dumb momsters. Stop trying to sell your children on Snapchat or any social media for that matter. But I just love that we're in 2025, guys, and that it's hard to get away from digital evidence, forensic evidence. We're just in those day and ages where, man, you better not get caught slipping because otherwise you're going to get handcuffed. All right. All right. Let's keep going.
And this is straight from the probable cause affidavit. So on November 1st, 2024, the FBI receives a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that was submitted by a Snapchat company. There in their report flagged alarming activity that was linked to a Snapchat account under the username Morgan Steph. Now, according to the probable cause affidavit, shows 3 photos of an infant and the text stating, "You can bleep her for $400, half now, rest after. I'll send my address. I do live alone," and her dad is not in the picture, like we mentioned before. Following the report, FBI agents interviewed Morgan Stapp on November 11, 2024. And during that initial conversation, she claimed she no longer had access to the Snapchat account in question. The affidavit reads, Morgan stated her Snapchat account was recently compromised and she no longer had access to it. Stapp reported to Snapchat a couple days ago, possibly November 2nd or 3rd.
So with the affidavits out there, I'm sure we can get a hold of it. We put a lot of time into this episode today. Thank you, Tiff, for the collage down there. And just know that we're going to bring a lot more this week. If I can get a hold of other information about this biatch, like you say, I absolutely will. Now, I can't understand that either, Pagliarani family. It doesn't make sense why anybody would do this to their children. She's a disgusting pig. I just can't understand it. It hurts my heart to see my child even cry, right? Even when they're just playing me, even when my kids just cry and fall on the floor and play me, it still hurts my heart. And I still just want to give them and everything. How do you do that to a child? How do you even say that about your child? What's up, Space Case? How you doing, my friend? I just don't get it. That's why we need coverage of these monsters. We need coverage. We need more coverage. We need more funding for the the NMEC. All right. National. I can always forget. National for Missing and Exploited Children. All right.
Stapp told authorities that every time she tried to log into her Snapchat account, it stated her account was banned. And the affidavit also indicated that Stapp had received an email from Snapchat notifying her that the account was permanently banned for violating policies related to, quote, online commercial sex transactions. And when she was confronted with the username and the explicit messages that were sent from the account, or apparently sent from the account, Stapp denied responsibility, claiming that she had sold her old phone, bought a new one, had been unable to reset her Snapchat password, and to reportedly claim that she realized something was going on with her account when a man reached out to her on Facebook asking why she blocked him after he apparently sent her money. However, investigators quickly discovered apparent inconsistencies in her story.
Now, remember, guys, this case was put together by multiple agencies. All right. So I'm very happy to hear that they are working on trafficking of children. Multiple agencies came together, watched her. They were looking at her, guys, since 2023. We're in 2025 right now. They were looking at her for almost 2 years. And yeah, excuses, you dumb biatch. Get out of here. Go get locked up for 30 years. She does not deserve anything more than just to throw a tray at her with a fork.
According to the affidavit, investigators obtained a search warrant for Snapchat's back-end data and traced multiple logins to the account from the same IP address and the same iPhone on multiple occasions. In fact, that same IP address was utilized on several dates: October 10th, 26th, 28th, 30th, and 31st. These logins seemingly contradict.
So all those dates are the times that we're out there doing trick-or-treating with our children, buying them costumes, doing the do. You know what I'm saying? Loving on our children, doing what we do. She's over there trying to sell her children. E. Erickson, keep your amazing coverage. Being relentless is bringing issues involved in this case is so important. Too many people view it as taboo and have been afraid to address it. I know. I know, E. Erickson. I appreciate that so much. That's why I came here. I originally started this channel to cover the cases of serial killers and get into their minds. YouTube doesn't like that. So let's use this platform to help the children and help the victims. All right. Let's keep going.
Or arguably contradict Stapp's account of hacking. And according to the affidavit, pictures were recovered from the Snapchat account all after Stapp had claimed she lost access. So a screenshot of a PayPal account with the name Morgan Stapp and a picture of her, a screenshot of a pending Cash App from an account with a note saying $30 for baby formula, a selfie pic of Stapp in a car. And investigators also obtained a search warrant for Stapp's home, and they were able to identify the same wooden bed frames inside her home that had been depicted.
Now, remember, guys, when I say this, and I know I say the same things a lot of times, and it's so that you can understand it and so that it sticks. Jen Soto, this is Jen 2.0. Jen Soto made sure that the room that Stephen Stearns was renting out, so to speak, didn't have any identifiable traits. You remember when I told you about room number 4 and the tripod and the white walls and the bed with the white? Nothing was identifiable, and I believe that was on purpose. I believe that she set that room number 4 up to exploit Maddie, to take pictures, to trade pictures, and to do nefarious trafficking things, CSAM things to Maddie. So now they're talking about this right now, and they're talking about the identifiable bed in the video. I think Jen Soto did that on purpose, and Stefan knew if you have a background that people can identify, it's a lot harder. All right, makes sense now. White and sparse, exactly. So listen here, what they see in the background. Jen was thinking, guys. She's not as dumb as she looks.
In one of the Snapchat